Am I audible, students? Hello? Able to see my screen? Okay, wait. Is that okay now? Are you able to see my screen? Yes, please give way. Still, you are not able to see my screen. Okay, now? Okay. Why? Because from my end it shows that it's visible. Sumit, for a change, I'm going to make you presenter for a while. Okay, for a minute, and then I'll back to presenter myself. So for a few seconds. Samir, are you present now?
Yes, sir, I am present. I am here, sir.
No, are you presenter?
I am organizer right now.
What do you see right now? It's Semester MU for WNC.
Still, sir, your screen is not visible.
Okay. If you wait for a few seconds. Hello,
Yes, sir.
are you able to see my screen now?
No, sir. Hello, students. Now screen is visible. Can anyone reply? Okay. Thank you, Satyajit. Munindra sir, are you there? Hello. Hello, good morning, students. Wait for 5 to 10 minutes. Munindra sir's laptops, they start an internet connection problem, so wait 5 to 10 minutes.
Dear students, are you able to see my screen now?
Sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, sorry for the inconvenience because of its very weak internet connection from my side. So it took too long time. So without wasting time, we directly go through the first of all database connectivity. So those who forget the database connectivity, not to worry at all. I'll start from the scratch, and today I'm going to cover everything, session as well as cookie. First of all, why we need a session? To store the data, we need a session, right? We know that if I wanted to save some data and then I'm working on my different pages, at that time I need those stored information. That's why we are using the session, right? So I want you to note it down one more question, that is what's the difference between session and cookie? It may be asked in 4 marks or in 6 marks in GTU as well as in Marwar University. Okay, so is that okay, students? Are you with me? Students, I want replay. Hello? Yeah, okay, thank you. So now today it's not possible to type each and every code. Okay. First of all, how to start a session? So for that, yeah, you need this line, session underscore start. Okay. So for that line, you can start the session. Now I want you to do few things from your hand. Okay. Means you're going to perform this slide 131 by your end. Okay. After the completing this session, this 131 session, I mean 131 slide, it shows that if I wanted to show that how many page views are there, okay, for my particular page, then this is what the one small program regarding that by using the session you can do that thing. Second is easy set function. Okay, now what this easy set function will do, is set function will check, that's it, whether is it has been set or not. Now we need to give the parameter that what are the things need to be set. Okay, so I want you to perform this small program also, like this is starting and this is ending over here. Now there is a Viva questions. Now the very first one, how to start a session, which means session underscore start function will use. Now how to destroy the session? The destroy the session can be done by the two ways. Very first one, that is unset function, and the second one, which is session underscore destroy. Okay, now over here there's a difference. What's the meaning of the unset and what's the meaning of the session underscore destroy? The unset function that is used to free the specified specific session variable, which means in your web applications, if you have a more than one session variable and if you wanted to specify a specific session variable, you can do that thing by unset. But if you want to destroy the completely session, which means all your session data are supposed to be destroyed, it can be done session underscore destroy. Okay, so there are a Viva questions as well as 1 mark question. What do you mean by session underscore destroy? What do you mean by the unset? And what do you mean by the session underscore start? What do you mean by the easy set function? So these are the 4 questions can be asked. Okay, so now without wasting time, let's get started with the database connectivity over here, and I'm going to put the very first one. Okay, so this is what the PHP webinar -2.php, that's what my action part, you can see this over here. And now let's get back to that local host. So I do have the WT user, I do have a WT database, and so for that I do have a user table, and you can see this, the user table does not have any of the data right now. So as you can see this, next one would be this the insertion part over here. So that's what the insertion part, you can see this. Okay, now I'm going to repeat those things. As you know me that every time I'm going to repeat because these are the things you need definitely. And so for that, PHP webinar, these are the steps. Remember those steps. Establish the connection with the server as well as the database. Step number 2, store the password from the registration page into the new variable. Write the query, right, which is depend on the program, and the fire the query over here. So that's what the first thing. As you can see this, and I'm going to run this page, so you will have idea this is what my registration page, and I'm going to enter my name over here. That's what MOON, the password with the same, it's MOON. When you click on this register, that action part has to be called over here. You can see this over here, and this is what my action part. You can see this is what the step number 1, they establish the connection with the server. The MySQLi connect function with the 4 argument, very first one, the local host and username and the password and the database name, and all are the same, wt. After that, you can check the connection, whether the connection has been successfully established or not. After that, you can see this, whatever the password which it received from this form, I'm going to perform the MD5 operation over here, and that process password I'm going to store in a new variable, and that is new pwd. After that, I'm going to write the query, insert into username password values. This is what from the received from the form, and that's what the new password what we processed over here. I'm going to give the input over here, and I'm going to fire the query with the help of the first connection string and the second that variable query. And if there is no problem, then error, the message will be displayed, right, new record successfully created, or else it will show the error part. Now where I click on this register, you can see this. Oh, PHP webinar 2 is not found, so it's a spell mistake by me over here. So you can see this. Yeah, that's what the error. I can, sorry for guys for the inconvenience over here. And let's MOON and the click on this register. You can see this. The message is displayed. The new record creates successfully. And let's get back to that SQL part. You can see this, that's what my username and that's what my password over here, right? So till now we did it in a previous session. Now first of all, let me ask you questions. Are we okay till now, guys? Are we okay? Hello, I want you to replay, please. Okay, yeah, I got the replay of the few students. Now I'm gonna perform the database connectivity with session. All right, so definitely I'm going to clear all your doubts. The PHP webinar -2.php method is a post. You can see this. Why? Because we don't have that much time to write each and every code. Okay, so that's what the first file I do have this, right? Previously was the register button. Now you can see this, we are going to retrieve the data from my database over here. So that's what my username and that's what my password I'm going to enter. And the second slide would be, okay, don't worry, I'm going to copy paste, but I'll tell you each and every word of this slide, so no need to. PHP dash webinar dash 3.php. Over here, and this is what, if I did a mistake by spell, then please let me know why, because it might be a typing mistake. That's what the third part I'm going to change. Okay, login.php. Oh, sorry. I'll tell you that what I'm doing right now. Okay. So first of all, this is what my login page. You already aware with this, right? The username, that's what my password. And yeah, it's Nisarg Upadhyay. It's already uploaded in e-content. You can see this. I already uploaded one RAR zip file or RAR file, which can contains all the PPTs, like from the unit number 1 to all the all units. Database connectivity. Okay, Janardhan will do it in this example. No worry. Okay. So as we know that this is what the part of the database connectivity. Step number 1 is to establish the connection with the server. So that's what we are using the connection string, the con mysqli connect. So that's what the function, okay, or that's what the method. It has a 4 parameter. The very first one, it's a host name. So host name would be the local host, comma username, that's what wt, comma password, that's what wt, and comma database name, that's also wt. Now what I'm doing right now, first of all, there is a question. What is the meaning of this line? I want you to replay. I want you to replay, guys. What do you mean by this line? Yes. Yes, very good. Heli is right. Arman is right. Janice is right. Seetal is right. Which means we are receiving the username in this form by method post. So whatever the username has been received, I'm going to store in this uname variable. Whatever the password has been received in this form, I'm going to store in D. I do have a weak internet connection right now, guys. Are you able to see my screen? Are you able to see my screen? Because of in between I do have internet connection problem. Okay, yeah, fine. So now after the completing with the establishing the connection with this server, that's what first of all I need to check the server. It has been done over here. Now I need to write a query. The previously we know that we want to insert the data. Now over here I want to retrieve the data from the database. So what I'll write, I like the select statements. So select star from the user where uname equals to uname, right? So why I did this, because if I'm not going to write, then I need to write this whole line $_post uname would be here. Okay, that's why what I did, I choose that both of this field, username and the password, are in a special variable, and those special variable I need to give the input over here. Is this okay? Is this okay? Select line, select statements. Is this okay for you? Yeah, so we'll move ahead. Now we want to fire the query. So mysqli underscore query, that would be the function, and it has a 2 argument. The very first one, that is a connection string, and the other one, which is query. Till now everyone is clear, I'm guessing this. Okay, now whatever the query has been fired, the result has been stored in one variable, which is name itself, result, $result. Okay, so now what I'll do, we know that I fetch the select star. Star means all rows and all columns from the table, but I need only a specific information. And so for that, I'll use associative array. So whatever the result has been stored in a result variable, from that I need a specific information. And so for that, I'm going to fetch those information by associative array by storing them in a different row. So what I'll do, while
$row equals to a function mysqli underscore fetch underscore array. Result would be the first argument as it's stored. It has whole result, and mysql assoc, it's a keyword. So if it is done, then I'm going to retrieve two things. Which one first? The dbpwd, which means a database password. You can see this. I do have a name of the column, which is pwd, and name of the user, which is uname. So you can see this, the row pwd, which means whatever the data from this result, I'm going to convert into row, and that has to be stored in a different variable, dbpwd, which means this dbpwd contains now database password. Is this okay? Replay, please. Is this okay, guys? You need to write only 3 characters, yes. And if it is not, then you need to write only 2 characters, NO. Fine. Same for the second field, uname, row uname equals to uname, which means from the database, I retrieved the username as well as password. Okay. And these are the from the database only, right? And I'm going to store in 2 different variables, like dbpwd contains the database password, and uname, which is the username, but it is from the database, not from the form. Okay, Janice? Now, what I'll do over here, whatever the password, it has been received through the form, I'm going to store in $pwd. So what I'll do over here, I do have a database password, and I do have a password from the form. So at a time, I'm going to calculate the MD5, right? Which means I'm going to perform the MD5 on a password which is received through the form, sorry. So from this form, okay? And after the calculating this, I'm going to compare with the database received password. If it is going to same, then now I'm going to explain one more time while condition. If I wanted to retrieve the data, and if I wanted to fetch a particular whole data and convert it into the associative array, then that's what the syntax or the logic. While row equals to mysqli fetch array, that's what the function, and it has the 2 arguments. The very first one, I need to give the output of the query, which is stored in result, and then mysqli assoc, that's what the function, right? I need to give. This is what the predefined, we do not change over here. So if it is true, then this would be performed. The database password, from the database password, I am going to store in new variable, and from the database the user, I'm going to store in a different variable. Okay. Now, as you know that I'm going to calculate the password at a time, which is received from the form, and that's what the from the database. If it is same, then now concentrate. It is very much important. If my password are same, then first session underscore start. Okay, session underscore start. What should be the next step? Once you going to start the session, you need to initialize, or you need to define a session variable over here. Okay, so what we will do, the $_session uname, that's what my session variable, and I'm going to define or assigning. What contains the uname, $_uname? Over here you can see this. This is what the username from the database. So I'll assigning over here whatever the received username from the database. I'm going to initialize a session variable which is session uname. For the primary key, you need to give some specific parameters like auto increment would be there. So once you are going to retrieve all the data, okay, based on the primary key, it will give a unique record, right? So based on that, you can differentiate this. Look, right now this will be work because I do have only single record, Arman. Okay, and that's why I'm taking right now single record. Why? Because if I'm going to take a multiple records, and definitely you are going to confuse. So for this right now it will work perfectly. Why? Because I do have a single record. Okay, now let's get back to the session. Session underscore start and session variable has been defined. Does anyone having doubt till now? For this two lines, only for this two lines. Oh, sorry, for this two line. Does anyone having doubt with this? Please replay. Yes, does anyone having doubt? Please replay. Okay, so after the session variable has been created, the one function which is known as the header. Now what the header will do? Once you give the header, it has a syntax location and then file name .php. Right now, say for example, if I do have php-webinar3.php, which means after this second statement, from this it will be redirected to my this file. Okay, and if it is any of the problem, then in the else part it will give to the webinar1.php, which means on login page. And what is this? I'm telling you in few seconds. Okay, so first of all, let's get back to the php-webinar3.php. So first, at the starting, session underscore start, which means for this page, I'm going to start a session. Now check it out whether the session variable has been set or not. So what I'll do, not is set, which means if my session variable is not set, then it will be redirected to something else. Okay, now we will perform the operation first, so you will have idea. This is what the HTML part. I'm going to tell you what exactly this is. Okay, so let's get, first of all, click on this login. You can see this welcome Mr. Moon with the logout button. Now where it comes from, basically it comes from this file php3. You can see this php start. Now go through this line. If the session variable is not set, then it will be redirected to this login file. This is what my login file. Okay, php1. And now you can see this. That's what my HTML part. Welcome Mr. PHP eco session uname. Why? Because we already started the session over here, and after the session we already define a session variable, and after that this header file is there, so it will be redirected to this particular file, and initially I already start the session. Now definitely I already define a session variable, so this condition will false. So it will be directed, go to the body part, and PHP echo session uname will be displayed, which means my username is Moon and you can see this, welcome Mr. Moon. Okay, after that you can see this, there is one logout button also visible. So what exactly this part is, you can see this form method post, it does not have any action part, input type submit, name logout and value logout. So you can see this, you can consider like this is what your dashboard or this is what your profile page. So once you log in, definitely it has a logout button anywhere in the page, right? So I need to give the logout button over here, and this is what my name. Why? Because I log in as my username and the password, right? And usually whatever the username, it has to be as appeared on a dashboard. So that's why I choose my username as it is. So welcome Mr. Moon over here, and this is what my logout button. Is this okay? Yeah, definitely. If every time I do have a questions from, first of all, guys from the Aman, if every time we apply the MD5 on password, won't be generate a random sequence of their end? And no, if I am going to generate MD5 of a single string, right, every time it generate a same MD5, unless and until if you are giving the parameter more than one, right now, say for example, if I am going to process only MOON with the MD5, then definitely it will be the same. If I am going to perform this 100 times, it would be the same, unless and until if I am going to answer MOON, that's what my first argument, n comma 1. Okay, why? Because it's a random variable. So when you give the random variable, it might be possible due to this combination, they can generate the different password. Okay, otherwise it's every time same. Is this okay, Arman? Yeah. So let's get back to that PHP webinar 3.php. Are we cleared this part? Okay. Why I write this? Are we clear this part also? Right now, when I'm going to click on this button, what the usual happen? All the session data are supposed to be destroyed, and it is supposed to be redirected to the login page. So this is what the thing over here is set post logout. You can see this form method doesn't have has an action part, so which means it is redirected to the page itself, right? And the name of the button which is logout, and the value of this which is also logout. So when I'm going to click on this logout, I get the value logout. Okay, so I'm going to check is set post $_post logout. So when you are going to click the button, this value has been set or received over here. If it is there, then session would be destroyed, and I'm going to redirect my page to the login page. So let's do this. You can see this. I redirected from welcome Mr. Moon to my login page. Now, when you are going to give the wrong password, like from MOON to NOOM, it will be redirected to the login page itself every time. Why? Because you can see this, the username and the password which is incorrect. Due to this, the password is not same. It will not go through this loop, but it will go through this loop, right? And this loop will execute the statement else part, and it will be redirected to my login page. If you wanted to write unset, I'm telling you one more time, what's the difference between unset and session underscore destroy? I wanted to destroy all my data of the all session variables. I need to use session underscore destroy. But if I wanted to use a specific, I need to use unset, right now, why I'm doing this session underscore distro, because I don't want to take any chances over here, right? You can use the dollar post underscore uname, but for that you need to give specific. Okay, you can use if you want. Yes. So are we clear till now? So that's what the database connectivity with the session. Okay, and I want you to perform this by your end. So let's have, we do have a 10 minutes. Okay, and one single topic is left for the MU students. That's what the cookie. Okay, so let's start with the cookie operation over here. First of all, what do you mean by the cookie? The cookie is, you can say, which is identify a user. It is a basically, you can consider a small file that embeds on user's workstation or user's computer, and when the each time computer requests for the same page with the browser, it will send the cookie to, right? And with the PHP you can both the create as well as retrieve the cookie values. So what I'll do, guys, over here, I need your help first. Whatever the content of this module 7 PHP, first of all I want you to perform all the slides, whichever contain the programs. I need you to perform this, then and then you are able to understand few things, right? So once we're done with the cookie, I request you to starting from the first slide and later on till here. So the next is how to create a cookie. So for that you can set the function set underscore cookie. The set underscore cookie has a different parameters. You can use the parameters which you want. This is purely based on the user's requirements, starting from the cookie name, value, expiry, path, domain, secure, HTTP only. Okay, so these are the various parameters. You can go through this parameter once, right? It will give you the detailed idea. This is what this small example, like if you wanted to set the cookie, then here is the example. So if the questions may ask in GTU as well as in MU, explain cookie in 2 marks. So first of all, you need to give the explanation. Dear students, I already uploaded all the PPTs before a week. I request you to go through your portal first, because nobody checked your student portal, right? You can go through the notes and the synopsis. In that I do upload the two things. The very first one, a zip file or rar file, and specific this 7 module PHP. I request you to go through once, please. So in the 2 marks question, you can give the explanation, right? What is cookie and all, and just give the syntax of this, how to set the cookie, the few parameters, and all the parameters. Give only 1-line explanation, and then give that small example. No need to give the explanation of this program if they ask you in 2 marks. But what if they ask you in 4 marks? Definitely you need to give the explanation over here. So this is what the second example, right? Once the cookie has been set, you can expire the cookie over here. So if you wanted to set the cookie for 1 month, then after the 1 month you wanted to destroy, then 60, 24 hours and 30 days, so it would be expired. If you wanted to print the cookie, then $_cookie user, but for that definitely first of all your user has been set for the cookie. Yeah. This is what the same one more program. If you wanted to retrieve the cookie, you can choose the isSet function, whether your cookie user has been set or not. Okay, and this is what the expire function. But this is what the delete cookie time -3600. So definitely you can delete the cookie once the time has been I mean that time perfectly available, then after that it will be deleted. After that, PHP header function we had already done with this. If I wanted to redirect or send the raw HTTP to the client, I can do that. Okay, that's what the difference between session and cookie. I want you to go through these two slides, 151 and 152. And now it's time for the cookie part. So that's what the PHP webinar-2.php. I'm hurry for this part. So that's what the second thing over here. Right now we perform the static cookie operation, but I want you to implement from your end, from the database. Okay, so that's what the main homework for you today, which means you do have two homework. First of all, what I did, the database connectivity with session, you need to implement it. This would be the as it is because all the code is available in slide. Okay, so I want you to perform this line by line by your own. Okay, and after that you need to perform this cookie as it is, and then you need to implement with the data from the database. So let's get started with the first part. So that's what my first username and password. As I've told you, I'm going to perform the static operation right now. Okay, this is not the dynamic part. So I already defined my username and the password. In the other file you can see this, the Johnny for and the Delphi. That's what my username and the password, the Johnny for and the Delphi over here. And then click on the remember me, and then I need to perform the login operation. Right, so no need to explain this login part. Why? Because it's HTML things only. Let's get back to the cookie over here. You can see this, this is what the form, and it has a post method. I do have the username and the password. This is what the same thing I entered in my username and the password. Now let me check first whether the post variable has been set or not. So is set post username and the password. If it is yet, then it will be go to this part. Otherwise it will be go to the else part. The username and the password would be the invalid. So the first of all, $_post username user, $_post user and user, which means whatever the username and the password has been entered by the user, whether it is correct or not. First of all, I need to check this, and then after that I need to set the cookie. Right, so if you're going to is set post remember me, which means when you click on this, right, it is going to have a value and it is going to set. So over here the is set $_post remember me. If it is received, then you need to perform this. If it is not, then you need to perform this. Now what exactly this is, if I'm going to click checkbox over here, which means the set cookie is going to their username and the password, what the username password, which is the post username, and the time has been created, which means you can consider the 60, 60, 24 and 365 at me, which means the cookie has been created for a year, right? And the password is also created for a year. If it is not checked, then definitely the cookie will be deleted, right? Time 3600, time 3600. If it is not done, then it will be, I mean, if it is set, then from this directly it will be redirect to the header file. So this header php dash webinar dash 3.php at this file. Okay, and after that it is invalid, then let's get back to the first of all php dash webinar 3.php. What exactly this has, First of all, check it out whether the cookie has been set or not by using the isSet function. If it is there, then we have to check if the username and the password, which means from the cookie, right? If it is not same, then it will be redirected to that login page over here. So the php dash webinar dash 1.php, right? If the both are not same, then it will be redirected to the login page. If it is same, then welcome back user cookie name over here, or else part you can see this is what the it will be redirected to the login page only itself. Sorry. Okay, so let me click on the login. Welcome back Johnny 4, right? So this is what the cookie part, it's very easy. So you can consider this is what a dependent things. If you know how to insert data, definitely you will get how to retrieve data. If you know how to retrieve data, then definitely you will know how to retrieve data with the session. If you know how to retrieve data, then definitely you can set the cookie function. Just you need to change a different syntax only. The rest of thing, the logic is as it is. Okay, so I request all the students to go through these examples by today only, right? Which examples I'm going to tell you. Yeah, starting from here, PHP 1 and PHP 2, this is what the inserting thing, right? Then this login page, PHP 3 and welcome page, this is what the data retrieval with session, which means database connectivity with session. And then PHP cookie, these are the small examples, and after that the big one example, right? How to retrieve a cookie as well as how to set a cookie. So this PHP dash 1.php, PHP dash 2.php and PHP dash 3.php, this is what the combination of the how to set and how to retrieve a cookie. Okay, so I want you to go through these examples. All these examples are available in PPT. You can directly copy and paste to your pages and it will work perfectly. Okay, so make sure that you are going to perform by end of the day only. Otherwise, why? Because if you are not going to perform today, definitely it's a human tendency, you will forget everything. Right, so now the next session would be on software engineering, and Professor Madhu ma'am is already there. She is waiting for you guys. So I'm handovering my session to Madhu ma'am. Madhu ma'am, are you there? Hello, Madhu ma'am. Hello. Hello, Madhu ma'am, are you there? Hello, Madhu ma'am. Okay. Okay. So ma'am, I'm going to, okay, Madhu ma'am is offline. Why? Because there is something wrong with her system. So wait few seconds. Once the Madhu ma'am back online, I'll hand overing the session to them only. No problem, ma'am. I'm waiting. Yeah, no problem. So go through your student portal. Okay. And from this portal, hello.
Is it audible?
Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Okay, I'm there now. I'm there.
Yeah. So I'm going to make you presenter now.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Hello. Good morning, students.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible, but your screen is still not visible. It shows only the white screen. Yeah, now it's visible. Yes.
Now it is not visible to me.
Yeah, it's a black
Some
screen
hand.
now.
Yes.
Yeah. Now we can see your slide, the software coding and testing.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you. Good morning, students. Black screen. Okay, I started getting fine. System is bit slow. Yeah, I got ping. Okay, let us do exercise first and then we'll start. Raise your hand, those who are present over here, everyone. Students, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. I want to see how many students are present. Raise your hand. I don't see many hands raised. Either they are projecting. Yes, I see many of them, almost all. Okay. Let me name few. Dhruv, Kushi, Abhishek, Aditi, Arman, Atul, Bhushan, Darshana, Disha, Drashti. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Let us start with this chapter. Okay, all the hands are raised. Good, good. Fine, fine. Okay. We stopped at white box testing in last lecture. Okay. Let me go to that PPT. System is a bit slow today. We discussed not count, assignment questions. Let us start from here. Testing concept, a brief revision. What is error? What is fault? How does it relate to failure? Okay, I said definitions are important for exam. Error is the deviation between actual output of the software and correct output. Fault is a condition that causes system to fail. Okay, and failure is the inability of a system or component to perform required function. These are important. We also saw what is V and V in testing. Both are important. Verification and validation. Whatever we are going to learn in this chapter is a part of validation. Okay, we will be dealing with code. We will be dealing with how to test the code. What are the independent paths to be tested? What are the inputs, valid input, invalid input, output, etc. So we will be studying validation part over here. Whatever we did in the chapters before was a part of verification. Okay, we went through the code, we went through quality concepts, we had diagrams made in SRS. They were part of verification. Someone commented that day it is V model, which was true. Levels of testing comprises of these levels: unit, integration, system, and acceptance testing. I said I have not mentioned the names inside intentionally. Unit testing comprises of code inspection. Whenever you are writing about unit testing, short note on testing, these are the words we will be looking for. Code inspection over here. Integration will be top down or bottom up. Remember, we studied that in generalization, a similar concept. The stubs are combined together from bottom to top. Minor versions are combined. I'm telling it is integration from top to bottom. It is top bottom approach. It can be sandwiched approach as well. System testing. Alpha testing is example of system testing wherein the developers test for the errors at their end. Acceptance testing, you would have heard beta version of many software. That is an example of acceptance testing. Okay, so these were the levels of testing. Now when I need to map them with what we have done in project, acceptance will be based on the client needs for what we made the software. So let us map them both. Client needs comes from requirements. So this is from here to here. This is from bottom to top. Testing is from bottom to top, and whatever you see on left hand side is from top to bottom. Requirement will lead to design. From design will be coding. Okay, so they are interconnected as you see. Same thing with the help of a diagram. Unit, code, integration, design, validation, requirement, and system engineering. Okay, I've taken this from a book. You may draw this if a short note is asked on the same question. This is explanation of what I said while discussing the diagram. Regression testing was not mentioned there because regression is not a part in lifeline when a product is being developed. Regression comes into existence when you configure the software into different versions. Okay, smoke testing and regression testing itself are the example of regression testing. When I add new functionalities into the system after it is being launched or I am about to launch it, I'll test that thoroughly, continuously. Such type of testing is called smoke testing. That is why it was not there in the figure. Talking about testing, we plan it, we design the test case, and we execute the test case. Planning will have few things to be considered. We'll see that. Test case design, we saw a tabular format wherein we wrote input, actual output, what output we got, pass or fail. That was test case design. Test case execution, how do I execute this? I run the program. We need to find independent parts. We'll be seeing this in detail further. Okay, now when I plan, I need three things as I said. You have to have the plan, you have to have requirement document and architecture. Architecture we'll be discussing in design unit again. There are different kinds of architecture for software engineering. One of them you would have been following here while coding in your system or designing your system. You need to test that again. Test case design, we saw this. Test case number, name, description, data used, expected and actual output. Now this, if it deviates, it gives you error, right? According to the definition, if we go, if there is a change herein, that means you have error. Test data, what data is to be used? That we will be discussing in black box testing in detail. Okay, how do I select the data for testing the program? Another example. Execution, executing the program with an intention to find the error is test case execution. Fundamentals, I hope this was clear. What is the objective? Is to uncover maximum error. I said testing principles are important in exam. Do I need to repeat it? Just go through it for your understanding. I have highlighted the words which you need to mention. Okay, it should be traceable first, it should be planned. Pareto principle applies in design, applies in testing, applies everywhere where a product is being developed. Okay, it should begin in small and progress in large. Exhaustive testing is not possible. You never say testing is over because there is always something to be tested yet, because there are many parts, many things to be tested. Testing should be considered. Effective testing will be done by third party. Reason is, if I test my software, I'll be trying to find out lesser number of errors. Okay. Okay. Testability. Last time we said that after discussing all about testing, what we saw principles, we saw objectives. Now testability is how easy your software for testing. Is it testable? Is it operable? I get the answer when I look at the characteristics. For example, I said all the lities you come across will come here. Operability, observability, controllability, decomposability, simplicity, stability, understandability, etc. Okay. Important question again, testing attributes. Okay, starting from here, white box testing. Let me give you some review first and then we'll go into detail. Give me a minute. Starting WordCast. Audio issues are there, is it? Are you everyone has hand mic? I think let us start. Want to write it, I'm not able to. What give me few minutes. Krishna, if you are there,
Ma'am,
please, if you can read about white box testing, I'm doing setup for explaining them.
sorry, ma'am.
Can you please talk about white box testing? I am trying to install my WordPad. I'm almost there.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, ma'am.
I'm there.
Just
No problem. No problem. I'm there.
okay, ma'am.
Screen is visible.
Visible.
Okay, software testing. Okay. When I talk about white box testing, let us consider. Okay. Let us consider your project over here. It is kept in a box. What you need to give is input. What you give after processing from the system is output. It is slow, little slow, speeding. Then about white box testing.
Hello students, good morning. Let us see what is white box testing. First of all, in white box testing, what we are going to do, we will do detailed testing. We will check whether each and every path from source to destination is tested or not, or has been executed once or not. At least it should be executed once. White box testing of software is predicated on close examination of procedural detail. Logical paths through the software are tested by providing test cases that exercise specific set of conditions and loops. It means that you have to check each and every conditions is satisfied or not, or each and every loop is executed at least once or not. The status of the program may be examined at various points. Various points you have to check whether it is working okay or not, whether it is giving you the correct output or not. White box testing, sometimes called glass box testing, because we are checking in detail, right? Is a test case design method that uses the control structure of the procedural design to derive test cases. There are different methods in white box testing. First one is guarantee that all independent paths within a module have been exercised at least once. For example, if I want to pass some information to you guys, then I will check. I will be having various modes to pass information, right? I can communicate with you through WhatsApp group, or I can communicate with you through mail, or any other way. So what in independent path, what I will check that whether each and every path, is it able to give you information or not? Exercise all logical decisions on their true and false sides. That means that you have to check the logical decision. If it is true, then it should be executed first. Means it should give you correct result. If it is false, then it should give you correct result. Next one is execute all loops at their boundaries and within their operational bounds. Then you have to check all loops at their boundaries.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
I'll be using that word pad again later. Okay, I'm not able to do it today currently. As said by Krishna ma'am, white box testing is about independent paths. Now I was about to draw a box, give it input and give it output. If it is white box testing, then and the box is transparent, then what you'll be able to see from that box will have your project. So your project comprises of all the code, all the lines of code which you have written. So you can see code. So in white box testing, what we are going to test is purely the code. Okay, whatever you have written as an coding statement, that we will test in white box testing. Black box testing, now again I make that box a non-transparent box. So I cannot see what is inside my project. What I can handle is, or what I can control is the input which goes into the system and the output which comes out of the system. Okay, so that is what we do in black box testing. White box testing will have three things to be tested: all independent parts. Now how do we understand how many independent parts our system will have? For this we have different methods. Okay, now today this will not allow me to teach, I guess. Okay, let's see. Exercise all logical decisions, true or false. Okay, things which are logical decisions, we will try and understand they are true or false. All loops and internal data structure. Now it is very easy to remember them all. If I say your project has a code, It will definitely have some logical conditions. It will definitely have some loops. All these things turn around or move around data structures. Okay, you have data structures, so you can do these many things. And with all these three things, what we will try to access, we'll try to see how many independent parts are there. Repeating again, white box testing will help us to find out independent parts. Why do I want to find out independent parts? I don't want to reach London from here. So I want to find independent parts. I want to test all the parts. That is why I want independent parts. I want a number that my software has 6 independent parts so that I can confirm I have tested all 6 of them. Okay. So independent parts will be a point in short note. Logical decisions, of course, we'll write logical decisions, loops and internal data structure. Okay. White box testing, as I said that day, is also called glass box testing or transparent box testing. Okay. Names can be used interchangeably. Black box testing, go through it. Black box testing will talk more about behavior, how your system behaves when some input is given, how it behaves in terms of output. We will not see code here, but we will try to identify what are the incorrect missing functions, interface, because when you connect something with input and output, we'll be talking about interface only, okay, passing the parameters. Now, when I say interface, when I say functions, internal data structures and database will also come. Now, this is the thing which is common in white box and black box. If you map, okay, data structures are there as well as here. Behavior or performance error, initialization and termination error. So all the errors except your coding will be tested for black box. Now, a line is highlighted here which can be asked for justification or for your understanding. Black box testing is not an alternative to white box techniques. Why? Can I say if I do black box testing, white box is not required? No, because both of them have different objectives. White box is testing your code. Black box is all about the interface, input, output, and data structures. Okay. Now, a question can come from this unit. Mostly, most important question which is explain white box testing. We'll be having methods. इतना छोटा explanation नहीं है. Black box testing. One more, differentiate or compare and contrast black box testing with white box testing. Now we'll be seeing both individually. Let us go through white box testing first. Okay. What did I say? What do we do in white box testing? We try to find out independent parts. Okay. So methods to do that are: one, flow graph notation. Jot that down in your notes. This is important. If you go and see Pressman, there is lot of data you have to compile. So better jotting it down. White box testing has these 4 methods: flow graph notation, independent program path, or cyclomatic complexity, which is said to be VG, V bracket में G, that is cyclomatic complexity, deriving test cases. Now, if I sit and derive test case for entire program, I can check the code which we saw earlier in form of tables. So let us skip this. We will not derive test cases here. And based on flow graph notation, there is something called graph matrices. Now, this topic is important in how many ways? One, in your exam, surely a question will come which will have a sum. Second, it can be a short note. Third, if you go abroad and do your master's, this will be the topic from where your chapter will start. If you do your master's here, again, this will be there. Okay, if you go into testing as a profession, this is most important topic. If you code your software, you must understand how it should be tested. These are the important reasons you should know this topic. Okay. Now starting with flow graph notation. I'm talking about flow graph notation based on code. Okay, as I said, white box testing goes with coding. Now, if my program has a sequence, I can denote it like this. These are the edges, these are the nodes. Okay, this concept is known to you. Edges and nodes. Edges are connection, nodes are the points which we connect. If there is a if condition, it can be denoted like this, while goes like this, until case. Okay. Now I want to convert this graph-like structure into flow graph. We said flow graph, not flow chart. Okay, flow chart, activity diagram, all that we discussed. It is almost the same like flow chart, but that is derived from graph. We say it is flow graph. It shows the flow of your coding. Okay, sequence can be denoted like this. If else go like this, if then else. Case condition will have so many conditions, so it is shown in diamond. Do while will have a condition, when true it goes here, when false it goes down, and repeat, that is loop will go like this. Draw this for your understanding and we'll move further. Giving you 30 seconds to draw. Okay, done. Now you are not audible. Am I audible? Can you be little loud and clear? Okay. Audio problem today? Hello. Okay. My throat is also not well. Okay. Next is, now after flow graph, what I need to do? Suppose I'm able to draw a flow graph. Now this will be easier for you to draw from your code. You'll have a starting point, a condition. If the condition is true, it goes into some set of actions. This can be set of actions. Not true, it can go to some other node. If it was true, again, if you meet some condition. So this flow chart is very easy to draw from your code. Next thing is how to convert this into graph. Why are we converting? We'll see it. Let us understand the conversion process first. It starts with one. First node starts with one. Okay. Now we see 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are in sequence. Okay. So I put them together over here. 2 and 3 together. After 2 and 3, after executing line 2 and 3 or set of codes here, it goes to 6. So the connection shown here is in 6. Now from 6, we are having two options. That is 7. Either the code will go in 7 or the code will go in 8 and they'll merge in 9. So likewise, we have joined the edges with the nodes. Okay. From 9, connection is to 10 over here. So from 9, we are connecting it here with 10. Let us go this side of the code. From 3, you can see there is no condition here. 4 and 5 are continuous. So let us merge them, 4 and 5. From 5, the connection is in 10. My code jumps to statement number 10. So it goes here. So likewise, we have connected a graph from this flow chart. Is it okay? Okay, why we are doing this? Let us understand what we need to get from this. So after doing this connection, you'll be able to see something called regions. Okay, regions are the closed area which are present. Closed area which are present in the diagram. Okay, let us find the closed area. Is this a closed area? Area closed by between 2, 3, 6, 4, 5 and 10. Yes. Okay, one region. Another region over here. Closed area, region 1, region 2. This is also a closed area, region 3. If you take this entire space other than this region, that will become region 4. Okay, so there are 4 regions. That means I can have 4 independent parts in the program, maximum 4. Okay, one way to derive independent parts is based on this. Let us revise again. From the code, we are able to make a flow chart like this. From flow chart, we are able to derive some flow graph. In this flow graph, connections with the nodes are edges. The codes which you are going to name are nodes over here. If they are in sequence, you can put them together. Even if you place them individually, it won't create problem because there is a formula to calculate. All the closed area in the graph is called region. Okay, and number of regions denotes independent path in a program. Okay, let us revise again. Outer space you will always consider R4 is outer space, R1, R2 and R3. Okay. Now, one more thing we need to understand is a node which is having 2 outgoing arrows. Okay. A node which is having 2 outgoing arrows is called a predicate node. P. I denote that with P. Now, can you tell me in question where you type the question, you please tell me how many predicate nodes are over here. Let me see if you get this. The nodes which have 2 outgoing arrows. Is called a predicate node. Over here, so 2, 3, okay, very good. 3 would be answered 3, correct? Would be others are able to understand how it is 3? Okay, 1 is also a predicate node. This is outgoing arrow, this is outgoing arrow, so 1. This is having 2 outgoing arrows, so this will also be considered in predicate node. This also, okay. Payal named the predicate nodes also, very good Payal. So 1, 2, 3 and 6 are predicate nodes. Now formula is cyclomatic complexity is equal to P plus 1, wherein P is number of predicate nodes. So what do you get here? 4, obviously, because 3 predicate nodes are there. So confirm again, number of regions and number of predicate nodes both are 4, isn't it? How do you see the region? If that is the question, when you have a graph, the closed area, see I'm writing here, this is one region, this is second region, this is the third region, and outer space is always a region that is fourth region. Okay, now I can identify region over here also because I have practiced. For you, you make this diagram and you will be able to see the closed area. Okay, so 2 ways to derive independent paths. One is number of region, another is predicate node. Good. Next is, now how many edges are there? Count the edges and write them in question box. If Arman is asking something, can we see that predicate nodes are those which have more than one output? Yes, Arman. Yes. More than one connection, they are predicate nodes. Okay, and maximum you will be having 2 here because you will be not showing major flow. Okay, give me number of edges in this diagram. 11 edges, very good. Number of nodes, 9. Okay, now I'm giving you a formula, E minus N plus 2. What do you get? Put in the values which you found out already. Yes, Kripa, 9 nodes, I'm able to see. Good, many are replying. Calculate E minus n plus 2. Yes, 4 is the answer. So all the three methods are giving you a constant answer, is it? Is it? Okay. Now that is how we confirm our answer in either GTU exam when a sum is asked, or while coding. Okay. Or while trying to find out how many independent paths are there. Okay. Now as we saw this and understood, let us go to the theory part. Now, yes. So areas bounded by edges and nodes are called regions, as I showed you. So how many regions are there? Comment it. How many regions are there? 1, 2, and please explain the formula again. Yes, I am going to here. I'll be, yes, 4 regions. No. See this again. This is not a region, okay? This is just a denotion. We are just going to theory. The gist, I'm going into detail later. This so region is enclosed over here between A, X and this unknown node, and B, Y and X. Region number 1, region number 2 and outer space B. Yes, correct. 3 regions, correct. Okay. Okay. Now, is it having more than one output, A and B? Yes. So how many predicate nodes do I get over here? 2. Okay. So P plus 1 will give me 3. This is how you verify your answer. Okay. Now understand what is predicate node, a node which is having more than one output. Here we are having 2 predicate nodes in this example. Fine. Okay. Now come back to example in detail. Now I'm telling you entire theory. Why do I want independent path number? Can't we directly see the diagram and test it? Let me go to the page again. Seeing this diagram, I can understand 1, say 11, okay, I'm testing. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, I'm testing. But then, if it is a bigger program, I won't be able to judge whether I have traced all independent paths, okay? Therefore, it is important to identify how many independent paths exist in a program. Fine. So, for this example, we got the answer 4. By testing the regions, by testing predicate nodes. So when I sit and trace the program, I get 4 independent paths like this. Okay. Now the formulas. Now whatever we did right now is called cyclomatic complexity. It is denoted by Vg, where G is graph. Okay. And graph always has edges and nodes. Fine. Write down the formula if you want right now. It is important. Cyclomatic complexity is a software matrix. Now, if I am able to measure something, I say it is a part of matrix. Okay. It is quantitative. It gives you a number. So it is quantitative measure of logical complexity. Okay. Till now, whatever metrics we saw, everything was done for a different reason. FC was telling you about size of the program, about complexity of your system. Cyclomatic complexity will talk only about logical complexity of your program. What is the complexity of your coding actually? Fine. Write down the formula, it is important. Cyclomatic complexity can be calculated in 3 ways. 1, number of regions. Now we know what is region. We saw in the diagram, closed area. Okay. Outer space should always be considered. Remember this. Vg based on E and N is E minus N plus 2. Now in exams, while writing down the formula, you will forget E should come first or N should come first. Minus will be there. So alphabetically, E is always first. Okay, remember that way. Vg is equal to E edges minus nodes plus 2. Plus another thing is edges will be always more than nodes. So you will not get a negative value here. Okay. And the last way is predicate node plus 1, where P stands for predicate node. So the value of VG provides us with upper bound of test cases. You get the upper bound, then it is up to you whether you want to test 3, you want to test 4 out of 10. Fine. Important. These 3 measures. Write down the formula if you want. Okay, I'm giving you 15 seconds. Till then, I'm going to the questions if there are any. We have 11 edges, 9 nodes, then formula gives 0. Here it is E minus N plus 2. So 2 plus 2. Others, those who have written or are not writing, may post questions if they have any. Okay. Let us move forward. Okay. Now PDL is the program, whatever pseudocode you are given. Now let us have a program here. Go to this program. The procedure computes average of 100 or fewer numbers that lie between bounding values. Okay, that is why procedure is named as average. Good thing is, let us start from here. I see there are set of statements which will be executed thoroughly. This will be executed this without any condition. So I name it as 1. 1 is node number 1. Okay. Here 2 is having some condition and 3 is also having some condition. Okay. If that is true, it goes to 4. Fine. If it is not true, from 3 the statement will move to 10. Okay, this do will end. Now whichever language it is, do and if, and the working remains the same. Okay, so from 2, if it does not get into this condition, after coming to 2 it will also go to 10, or from 3 it will go back to 10. Gets inside the condition, 3 is executed, it will go to statement number 4. After 4, 5 will be executed, then 6, and likewise. What if I want to draw a flow chart of this? Try and develop flow chart. Flow chart will look, you will need the code, right? Write down the code or take a picture in your mobile. Right now it is allowed. It is not allowed in class only. Take photo of this code. Try tracing it like this. Statement number 1 is executed. It goes to statement number 2. From 2 it can go to 10. 10 will have again some set of statements. From 10 to 12 or from 10 to 11, if else condition would be there, either here or here, then it ends to 13. From 3 to 4 to 5, 5 will be condition again, either it goes in 8 or it goes in 6. 6 will again be a if else condition. If you see, it will go to 8 or it will go to 7. And from 9, statement number 9, again it gets connected to statement number 2. Now leave the code aside. Leave the code aside for a few minutes. Let us identify how many regions are there. How many regions in this program in flowchart? Can you comment that? Very good. Urvi has commented. I am not telling what you have commented because I want to see others answer too. It is correct. Kripa correct. Which would it go to 10 from? Yes, from both the cases. There is an and condition. Ma'am, I didn't understand how it goes to 10 from 2. Okay, we'll go back to 4. Let us understand the formula first. I'll explain the code. Someone said, okay, please correct. Okay, this is telling yes. So number of regions are 6. Are you sure? Let us number them. 1, 2. Should I write here? 3. Region number 4. Here. Region number 5. And this one is 6. Correct? Any doubt here in this number of regions? Okay. Why 6? It is outer space. So formula, according to formula of VG, based on region, I get value as, you don't write REG, okay? It means register. You have to write region. Because my WordPad is not working, I'm writing like this. Okay. Let us identify predicate codes. How many predicate nodes are here? Post that in question section. How many predicate nodes? Sorry, region is not 4, it is. How many predicate nodes? Yes, are you able to do? I'm not getting the answer. Okay, let us consider 2. This is predicate node. 3 is also predicate node. 10 is also predicate node. Okay. 5 is also a predicate node. 6 is also a predicate node. So basically I should be getting how many predicate nodes? 5 plus 1. That is C plus 1. C is number of predicate nodes. Am I audible? Am I audible, students?
Yes, ma'am, audible.
Okay, I don't see any questions. Either they understood entirely or they did not understand anything. Okay, students, post. I'm waiting for your answer. How many regions and how many predicate nodes? I'm writing the formula here. VG is equal to number of regions is equal to predicate node plus 1 is also equal to E minus N plus 2. Okay. Now based on this graph, you know what are nodes and what are edges. Regions were correctly identified by you all, that is 6. So based on formula, VG should equate to 6 over here also. Okay, as this was 6, naming it again R1, R2, this is 3, this is region number 4, region number 5, and this is 6. So this is fine. Predicate node 1, 2, this is 3, 4. Any other predicate node which is present? I still got 4. This is the 5th one. Did I left out any? Leave your answer here. this one. Okay, so 5 regions. So P plus 1 will give you, yes, correct. Miss, yes, I got your point. Third one, I don't know why I'm not able to see the P. Okay, so this is 6. Number of edges. How many edges in the diagram? Okay, minus number of nodes plus 2 should be giving you 6. So value of Vg, that is complexity over here, is 6. It denotes what? It denotes independent path in the program which I have shown you in the last PPT. Okay, so white box testing deals with finding independent path. Okay, I am erasing all the drawing again. So for the code which we saw, we will see the code in detail. So for this code, if I go to the code only, if I'm expert, this is what happens in FTR. I'm able to identify conditions. This is do while. So before entering here, one time execution, it will go to next statement also Smith. That is why it was connected to 10. Okay. One if condition, second if condition. If I am calculating the conditions over here, I'll be getting predicate node even without drawing this diagram. Okay. So the solution is Vg can be determined in 3 ways: regions, edges, nodes, and predicate nodes. These are the independent paths. Okay, once I get the number outer bound of the program, I'll be knowing about the path, independent path. Now it is up to me to test them all or to test them in few. If I want to test them all, if I don't want to test them at all. Okay. Should we go back? What about this program? Okay, let us see that program in detail first, what it does. See this program again. Set of statements, if they are executing in sequence, I'll be numbering them together. Both the conditions, if they are tested together, I can merge them into one, or if they work differently, I will split them. So I consider this. Now programming and numbering can differ. Someone may have 11 edges and 8 nodes. People may have 12 edges and 6 nodes, but it will calculate up to same because number of nodes and number of edges both will differ in each program. Okay, so if I name them together, my edges will decrease. If I name them individually, my nodes will remain restricted, so edges will decrease. Okay, from there we'll go to the fourth statement. There is a if condition. This if condition is also having a and condition. Okay, you see they are naming them differently. This is sixth one, this is sixth one. If it goes inside, it will go and run these statements. Then skip, then you go to end if. From 5 will be connected to 8 if you mark in the diagram. From 6 also you'll be connected to 8 because they are numbered for the same calls. If you have taken pick of either flow graph or this, you'll be able to connect. From 6 it goes to 7. Okay. From 8, after end if, it will go to end do, of course, end do, and then it gets back connected to the second statement over here because it is do while. Fine. From 10, if you see the diagram, from 10, it will either go to 11 or it will go to 12. So wherever I have a predicate node, wherever I have a if condition, I'll be having a node, suppose node A, B, and C. This is not only connected, so there should be a flow. Okay. So this can be your if statement, this can be your else. Right? Okay. Draw this in your book. Write all the three formulas. Draw this. Write all the three formulas. Vg equals to what? Why the value are always same. If I get x in all three methods, why it is same. So this is how you cross verify your answer in GTU exam. Okay. If a sum is given. Now program which will be given to you will be simple. It can be Java program, it can be C program. Okay. From that you have to draw this, and from that you have to calculate the value of cyclomatic complexity. Fine. Okay. Let's just go to another program. Before giving the program, tell me how many regions will be there. What is the value of Vj in this diagram? Give me value of cyclomatic complexity in the comment section. That is question. You can give me answer here. Okay. 1, 2. Now control is going back. So it is again creating a loop. 3 and the outer section, that is 2. Okay. So take this example as a homework. Take the pic. I'll be uploading the PPT. Calculate value of Vg based on all three formulas and verify. Okay, we'll start from here tomorrow. This diagram is based on the code which I showed you. Now let me show the code also. You would have taken pictures. Okay. Now take the picture of code also and verify if it is true. A simple program to track. Okay. Took lot of time, lot amount of time. Let us do a last exercise. Raise your hand if you people were there. Let me see how many of you do that. And we will end. Now what if I say I might mark attendance with this? How many of you barely raise your hand? Okay. Good. Okay. So revise till here. Tomorrow we'll start from here only. Muninder sir is here. We'll end the session.
Yes,
Okay, I'll
ma'am.
be ending
I'm
the
going to end the session.
Okay. Okay, students, have a nice day.